All right, so I wasn't out of the closet yet, and I was on a camping trip with my club volleyball team, and there was a guy on my team named Josh that I had quite the crush on. So it was day one of the trip. Half the team went hiking along the river up to this swimming hole. Josh and I went with that half of the team, and when we got to the swimming hole, a couple of the guys jumped in their underwear. The rest of us wanted to jump in too. Luckily for me, Josh started making fun of the guys who were already swimming because they were swimming in their underwear. He was making fun of them for being shy, and the rest of the team joined in with him. And then he started talking about how they'd have to walk back in wet underwear and how uncomfortable that would be. So he just stripped down everything and jumped in the water, with no clothes on. Of course, I found that ridiculously exciting, but I was also kind of nervous because I realized that I would also be stripping down everything in front of all these guys. And quite honestly, I was a little worried that I would end up getting excited right in front of my team. The other guys on the team started taking their clothes off as well. So I'm standing there watching everybody else get ready to go in the water. I literally have a lump in my throat from how excited I am. I could tell that things were happening, things were growing, and I needed a distraction. So I started fumbling through my backpack, I don't know, pretending to get water, whatever I was doing, to buy myself some time. And as I'm doing this out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching everybody else around me strip down and jump into the water. Almost everybody was in the water at this point, and I'm still fumbling through my backpack at full attention now. I was really nervous because I knew I couldn't just go through my backpack forever. At some point, I actually had to join them in the water. And Josh called out from the water and was like, "Tommy, hurry up." So I stood up and started taking my shirt off and stuff like that. And in my head, I was trying to think about my dead grandmother and just terrible things to try to get things to go back down. And I'm pretty sure that was the longest I've ever taken to take my clothes off. But luckily it took long enough. Things subsided mostly. I got everything off. I was just barely semi-excited still. And I ran to the water as fast as I could. Luckily, I don't think anybody on the team noticed what was happening. And if they did, they didn't say anything. So we were all swimming around for a while. Guys were getting out of the water and jumping back in. And I was pretty much in heaven. I mean, I was soaking up the view. I thought everybody on the team was pretty hot. And guys getting out of the water, soaking wet with nothing on. You better believe I like that. I got out of the water too a few times to jump in. And I remember being so nervous, having everybody on the team stare at me with nothing on. And at that point in time, I hadn't realized yet that I was above average size-wise. And I remember being so worried that the other guys were going to make fun of me for being small or something like that. But nobody said anything, and the other guys seemed to be about the same size I was. So we just kept swimming, and swimming ended up leading into roughhousing. We were all pushing each other and tackling each other in the water. And at one point, Josh tackled me and pushed up against me, and I could feel underwater that he was at full attention. And I ran out of time again, so follow for part 3.